Oh. Oh. Anybody else? Oh. LUS challenged you to debate on YouTube. If he wants to, sure. Hello? Why is Cuddle not loading? What? Come on, bruh. I think she posted this. She or he, I don't actually know, but they posted this. Actually, you know what? It probably is a they with this picture and that name. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I don't know. Apparently, he was up all night just like seething about either me or my chat or whatever, and like no one in this Discord is even responding to him. he's just like cock raging in his Discord.
Yeah, basically, Dung Devil, I didn't like the community that was there. I want it to be like a community around the stream, and so we've discussed a couple different ways to do it. And I basically told people, like, if you don't like the stream or if you don't watch the stream, you should just leave.
True.
So now I'm trying to recruit people who do watch the stream to get people in the Discord. That's basically it. And then I think what we're going to do is probably eventually transition it into a sub-only Discord.
Damn.
And we'll just grandfather in certain people who haven't been there in a long time. Or, sorry, who have been there for a long time. Yeah. I think we're going to go sub-only for it, though. Yep.
And to give my opinion.
He also took the time to directly call to AstroTurf likes on his tweet, or on this tweet by Kilotonics, even locking his community from speaking about things until they go and AstroTurf it. Ironically, this tweet is about obsession. What? Juice this. How long until it stops becoming snark brain to point out that the obsession Ethan has with Anissa and iDubbbz is intensely psychosexual in nature? Oh, they're even copying Hassan's language. Or did Hassan copy their language? Where did the psychosexual term come from? Jesus Christ. Gen chat off, awaiting more juice. Good luck. Damn. Let's see. We've got Jessica Copes about the lawsuit.
Destiny, you know, this entire thing with like his pixie, I mean, it's a complete and utter like disaster for him, right? So it makes sense when he's going to argue some of the points that he has or whatever to try to like get that out there. But if you're someone that's like watching him or following him or whatever, and then you have to argue it, I mean, to the smallest amount of scrutiny, like that kind of the conspiracy, like, you know, stuff about the farms and all this other shit. I mean, it kind of falls apart pretty quickly, I'd say.
You know what? Actually, I will agree with this. Listen, I love all of you, and I cherish each and every one of you so much, but don't go into these spaces and try to argue my case with these people ever, because these guys have all the craziest things that they're ready to kind of like wheel out and debate on, and there's no possible way you're going to know every random weird accusation or thing that these guys have spent 2 years honing in their weirdo fucking Discord servers. There's a reason why Jessica won't talk to me, or why a lot of these people will avoid talking to me about it, is because they know that obviously I know my fucking life and I know what's happened. But sometimes I see people who will try to go into these spaces and they end up having to concede almost everything because they just don't know the facts about like the weird accusations they're gonna make. Like it's just not worth it, you know?
All this other shit, I mean, it kind of falls apart pretty quickly. The smallest amount of scrutiny, like that kind of the conspiracy, like, you know, stuff about the farms and all this other shit, I mean, it kind of falls.
Like he says the conspiracy stuff about the farms, but like I've shown you in court filings where their expert witness literally copy pasted, he lifted verbatim an argument from Kiwi Farms, a bad one too, that an expert who works in tech would know is a bad argument. But I don't think he's an expert. I think I've heard about this industry. I don't know how true this is. I would hope it's not true. Bro, I've had so much like lack of faith in the legal system between the Supreme Court shit we read and between my own civil case that I don't even like saying this. I hope it's not true, but I've heard there's like kind of an industry around quote unquote expert witnesses that like I'm an expert witness and basically just collect a fuck ton of inordinate fees in order to, you know, show up and testify for whatever a particular fucking legal team wants you to testify to. I kind of wonder for this Jesus or Jesus Pena guy, I don't know how true that is or not true that is, but Destiny, the guy was saying the expert witness is court appointed? What? Okay. One question. Are you ever allowed? I don't think I would ever do this because I just don't know enough about the process and procedure, but just in case you think I'm planning on doing this. But would you ever be allowed to swap places with your attorneys at points in your trial or in the whole like course of your case? Like if an actual plaintiff or an actual defendant wanted to question somebody, would they be allowed to say like, hey, I want to ask questions and do that? Or would you have to like dismiss your legal team or do something like that? This is the same for everything, though. Qualifications give you an in on doing shit, and people give you immense leeway because your qualification, 70% of shit, is just that we see it in every aspect of every institution, lawyers, PhDs. I would love to question this guy, the Jesus Pena guy. I would love to ask him questions about his expert witness testimony. I know for a fact, as long as I wouldn't fuck up like the procedure, because I don't know what, like, in terms of questions you can ask everything, this guy would look like a fucking idiot in 5 minutes. It's just so annoying that the problem is that the stuff is going to be way above the layman knowledge. And by layman, I mean true layman, not layman like I play computer games 12 hours a day and I know the ins and outs of like, you know, the average Windows operating system and everything else. But like a layman, it is, and like a person whose only interaction with the computer is maybe sending an email and maybe clicking on a browser. But the claims that guy makes are just so... One of the most annoying things that he's trying to make this claim about the continuous disclosure is he keeps saying that links were publicly searchable from Discord's CDN, and they're definitionally not. Like you can look at... you can look at Discord's... I don't even know that technical terms. I have to look it up. But if you look at like this, what do you even call it? The network properties or whatever of like all the Discord things, they like, they're tagged as like not indexable, right? Like Google search engines won't index them. If you try to do like site : and then you try to search for anything on Discord CDN, you can't just search it. One of the arguments they're trying to make is that like if you send a file on Discord, you can just search for it on Google because Google is indexing them. It's like, this has just never been true. But he has this claim over and over again. And to even argue that is just obnoxious because nobody reading these filings, or at least not like a judge or somebody that's not like technically sophisticated, is going to have any idea what they're reading. Yeah, but anyway,
falls apart pretty quickly, I'd say.
Yeah, I would just be careful to delineate between basically his entire narrative for why this all happened or why he's like a victim versus the strictly the lawsuit only. I do think there are ways you could think he's winning the lawsuit. Not early on when people are talking about it, but now with like what's changed here. I mean, it was always going to be tough, basically, that they've...
Here, this is my issue, and I'm going to lean into this really hard in the manifesto, okay? My issue is that if you think that I've done really wrong and really horrible and really bad shit, remember when I used to complain about the Trump, all the Trump election cases, how when they were in front of the media, they would say one thing, but when they were in court, their tune would become significantly more reserved. Is if you want to make all these crazy accusations of me, and then you want to back it up by taking me to court, well, one, the thing you're taking me to court for seems to be pulled back a bit from the initial accusation, and then every single thing you bring up in court is either you've brought up an inappropriate law, you've lied about your evidence, you've deleted and hid a whole bunch of shit. Well, fuck you. You don't get to say, it's not fair to say, well, you know, what he actually did was really bad, but, you know, the court case is going to be tough. Bullshit. Fuck you. The court case shouldn't be tough. If there were 15 women whose shit that I'd all sent fucking Pixie stuff to, and if there were all these people saying that my sister got a video from him from Pixie 2 months ago and blah, 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 if all that shit was true that she put in the complaint, unless she fucking lied, unless she lied about every single fucking thing she put in the initial complaint, then fuck you. You don't get to say, well, the lawsuit might be tough, but we know he's a bad person. No, fuck you. You sued me. You wanted to go to court to show the whole world how fucking horrible and bad I am. If you trip and fall over every fucking part of it, then that's on you. Fuck you.
We've got, like, witness test.
Did you consider hiring your own expert witness? For like 4 seconds. No, but the problem is, like, the guy's claims, I'm confident that I can write out, and I did. I wrote out a whole brief on, like, these are the claims he's making. This is what they mean. This is what he says they mean. This is what they don't actually mean. This is why they're fucking retarded. Nothing he's saying is true. We don't need an expert witness to counter anything that guy said. I'm pretty confident that I understand Discord and the tech around this stuff more than he does, unless the guy is just lying, and he knows he's lying, and he's actually really smart, but he has to lie. Like, everything in that expert witness report was just stupid. Like, he's pointing out, like, when he was linking articles about Discord's vulnerability for their CDN or whatever, what that article was talking about was that you could host malicious files on Discord, and then you could post the links in other places, and then those links that were publicly posted, those links could be crawled by Google Indexer, and then they would be archived, and that could be linking to malware or something else. It wasn't that Google or any of these search engines were natively on their own crawling through Discord CDN. These were links that were already posted in other places. The reason why Discord switched it up so that every day the link would change until it was accessed by the original account was because they didn't want people permanently hosting malware and then posting links in other places and kind of misusing Discord CDN as like an external host. That's what they were avoiding. But it had nothing to do with like being able to search for every video file that had ever been sent in a private Discord message. It was just stupid. But yeah, for me to hire my own expert witness to counter everything he's saying would cost me like $20,000, $30,000. And then we would have to go and depose him and make him available for deposition. Why the fuck would I pay $50K to discredit what's like such obviously stupid shit that I'm confident my lawyers, given an appropriate briefing, would be able to ask him questions and discredit in court, 100%. Can't you see his qualifications on LinkedIn? He said he co-authored 3 books. I don't know if this counts as a racing route. I'm pretty sure he just translated them. That would be my guess. He just translated them. Okay, where was I?
Early on when people were talking about it, but now with like, what's changed here? I mean, it was always going to be tough, basically, that they've got, like, witness testimony that says this stuff was sent out, and it's, like, compelling for certain reasons.
It's not, but okay.
It's basically going to come down to the reliability of the witness on whether or not it'll go to trial.
Oh, the reliability of the witness who submitted an affidavit that was heavily redacted that we were never given, ever, by the way, which is not allowed, by the way. You have to provide everything to opposing counsel that you're submitting to the court for evidence, even if it's filed under seal. Still don't have the unredacted version of it. They gave us a slightly less redacted version of it, I think 2 weeks ago. Still don't have the original unredacted statement or whatever that message was. And then they didn't depose their star witness. They didn't make her available for deposition. She hasn't been to any hearing. You're going to hang your hat on that? Okay, Chief.
And it could be like a difficult case. But in terms of everything he said about how Kiwi Farms was coordinating with all of his haters and all of that whole story he's told, that's all made up. That's all like crazy to try to follow.
Except it's all 100% true. Oh God, I can't wait till this case is over and I can write my whole shit up on this. But it's such an easy case for me to prove too, because these fuckers talk about it all the time on Kiwi Farms, and so did Justical and his people. But based. All right. What is this?
Yeah, the only thing because I basically stopped following it, like stopped being interesting to me, mostly because I thought if I'd stop covering it and like stop covering him, he'd stop like threatening people, and I kind of figured maybe that would stop. It's like maybe if I just but that didn't happen. So
it's so I need to switch that fucking flip in my brain. I have to have somebody try to do something horrible to me or something. I just can't. I feel so fucking cringe playing the victim. I feel so cringe. I can't do it. I have a stack of fucking police cards over here from how many fucking times I've gotten swatted the past few months. I was cringing because I tried to hide it the last time, but I think you could even see the fucking flashlight in the background. And I told the cop, please don't fucking go in the room. I didn't turn my camera off, okay? It happens so much. Nothing has ever happened to these people. Jessica has never been swatted before. Nobody's done anything. And by the way, just to be clear, I'm not saying anybody should go do anything, but I'm saying these guys are acting like they're getting fucking hounded on a daily basis in real life by assassins and FBI agents and cops. Nobody gives a fuck about you guys. Nobody cares about you. The fact that and it's also, by the way, it's also self-evident based on the behavior, because these guys would complain like, oh my God, Jesse just tried to get us killed. And then they would obsessively talk about me, my girlfriend, every part of my family, that making excuses. Was it Doobie that went on Wick's stream and made excuses why you can A-log my minor child? Why you can A-log him to try to get him fired from future jobs or whatever? It's fucking insane. And they're like, oh yeah, Destiny's threatening us so much. Like, holy fuck.
So what can you do? But then I just didn't really care that much anymore. I think it's basically been where I thought it was going to be 4 months. So I haven't really been covering it. I can only assume things have gone a little bit good for him in terms of like what's happened because he spends so much time covering it versus anything else. You know what I mean? Like, because
I just cover some of the filings. I don't think I've covered all my filing. They've talked about my case so much more than I have. What are they talking about? I'll talk to the LUS guy if he wants. There's a guy on my Discord that messages me that's his like connection or friend, but I don't remember the name, so I can't look it up on my Discord. But if he finds a way to message me, he can message me.
That makes me think, but it could be that honestly, he's in a weird enough spot. He's in like a desperate enough place that I do think there's a chance it's like not going that well. Certainly, it's never gone as well as he said. Like he was like, oh, it's going to be dismissed in 2 weeks, then dismissed in a month, then like.
Everybody likes to keep bringing up this like, oh, he said it was 2 weeks. Oh, he said it was 2 weeks. Oh, he said it was 2 weeks. Yeah, because I thought the judge would be. I love every judge. Every judge in the world, I love them all. Let me make that clear, especially my judges. Okay, but okay, I thought that the rulings were a bit quicker. Okay, I didn't know that you could file things and motions and not have them ruled on for 5 or 6 months. I didn't know that was the case. Okay, technically, my opinion isn't really changed from the beginning. I feel like it should be dismissed almost immediately. But the plaintiff, I didn't expect the plaintiff at the twilight hour to fully fucking fabricate a witness and to make a lie up to survive the preliminary injunction hearing, because they did that with Abby. Like I said, people can accuse me of lying, whatever the fuck, I don't care. Fuck it. If we go to trial, I guess we'll go to trial. I have never sent Abby anything related to Pixie ever. I just haven't. I know I haven't. I checked through all her fucking DMs on every fucking platform. I checked through everything. I've never sent her anything. And they brought that girl on the night before our preliminary injunction hearing in order to save their case so they wouldn't run the risk of getting dropped right there. Oh, by the way, memes, I'll never have the answer to this, by the way, so all I can do is be schizo and speculate. I said that they provided us a slightly more redacted or a slightly less redacted version of that Abby DM like 2 weeks ago. I know the person she was communicating with now, who she was sending those messages to. Spoiler alert, it was one of Gisticle's mods. So I wonder how that wound up finding its way to Joanne. Kind of weird. Pretty crazy. Now, again, I'm not going to find any of these messages because these motherfuckers are actually deleting shit and actually hiding stuff from me, so I'll never know. But my guess is that guy probably sent it to Jisticle. Jisticle probably passed it along to either Pixie or Joanne, and then they probably went to Abby and then bullied her into joining this by who knows what. I don't know at that point. Threatening her, promising her tons of money or whatever the fuck else, but... Anyway, good memes. If you're, I don't think it fucking matters. If you're curious, the guy that she was talking to was that Sognick dude. But good times.
To be dismissed in 2 weeks, then dismissed in a month, then like, I guess we'll see. And now it's like definitely dismissed before going to trial. And now it's like, well, I believe the last thing he said is like, I don't even know. Like, technically, like, what happens? Like, I think there's almost no chance, but if I lose, like, it's just completely fucked up. It's like, bro, you think about losing?
Yeah, it's a jury trial. Technically, anything can happen. Well, I mean, yeah, what? OJ won his trial. What do you mean? Like, yeah, what?
Anyway, it's just his progression over time. It's been strange to me to see.
What is this?
Anyway, crazy stuff.
I think at this point, like, even if like,
who's he talking to right now? Shamu. And Mrao or whatever. Fuck, I have so much trouble keeping track of these people. The Mrao guy, I think, is an insane anti-fan. It's hard. A lot of these people became like, I think, Ethan anti-fans, so I can't. Sometimes I say a person is an anti-fan of mine, but they might not actually be an anti-fan of mine. I think they might just be an Ethan anti-fan, so they like tweet with each other, but I'm not 100% sure. But I think Mrao's, tweeted a ton of crazy shit to me, about me, I think.
Like, for some reason tomorrow it comes out that Pixie was just like 100% lying and she's like a malicious bitch or whatever. Like, just nonsensical evidence came out against.
Isn't Mrao the Doomer Media guy from way back when? I think he took the Doomer Media account on X. Wait, is he actually Doomer Media? The guy who made the Vosh as a terrorist video? I think he just took the Doomer Media, or he like changed his name to Doomer Media on Discord, I believe. Hold on. They're about to do the meme. They're about to say the... even if Pixie was lying about every single thing, we still know that Destiny's 100% an evil person and everything else was true.
Reason tomorrow it comes out that Pixie was just like 100% lying and she's like a malicious bitch or whatever. Like, just nonsensical evidence came out against Pixie that was like proven to be true. Like, at this point, even it's just like, sure, you're innocent of the sex crimes, but like the weird harassment campaigns you've done on people, the doxing shit, the lies
Still
that
wouldn't make
you've
him innocent of sex
told
crimes,
about
just to be
other
clear.
creators. It's like at this point, like you're kind of, for a lot of people, I feel like even if you win this case, it's like people have kind of seen who you are and don't really fuck with you.
It's so fucking crazy, dude. It's so crazy.
I don't think it's just
to be
because of the
clear,
sex
still
shit.
guilty of like many other. Sir,
Hundreds
if, like,
of other
the sex crimes disappeared,
sex crimes.
given
Hundreds.
everything
Yeah,
else,
yeah.
he would still
Is
be
what
in
I
trouble.
meant. Sorry, I probably worded that
No,
terribly. Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not even like, I just try to be very clear that, because sometimes if I don't want to talk about it, people are like, they think that's me pulling back and thinking I'm like walking back from a take. It's like, no, I still believe literally every element of the things I was saying like a year ago, 3 months ago.
Emrao, the lolicon doxer, like he doxes lolicons, or he likes lolicon and doxes people. Emrao, the lolicon doxer, comes from the mystical and chud logic community. He hated Ethan before Destiny. Yes, he isn't Doomer Media. Every time he gets an account banned, he creates one impersonating a creator. I feel like a lot of them do that. It's really weird and annoying, but I guess that's part of why they do it. I think that Seba sexual guy does it too, and I think there's another person who does. They always just make new accounts with like other names and shit. I don't know. And then they always accuse me of being obsessed with them. But then whenever I try to fight with them in other discords, I like mix all of them up, and then they call me retarded. And it's like, I don't know. I don't keep track of all your fucking names. Okay, fuck you guys.
And I will defend like any of those takes essentially. I would say the one thing was, oh no, because I don't think I was really arguing Rose was a minor. I don't think I even really argued that, to be honest with you. So I was gonna say maybe that might be different.
Okay.
Anyway,
What's the deal with that? Was it proven that it was Solo using her account? Saw something about that maybe in a court filing.
No,
true.
no, but also like objectively, he was quite literally acting as a middleman. Like he was sending all the porn back to her, and then she was getting the requests for bespoke stuff, like custom stuff that she was sending back to him. Like, and he has admitted this, that like she at best he was a middleman. Like it wasn't that.
Hold on. Okay, wait. Don't want to get banned. Okay. I would say that easily the most disgusting part about this whole thing, that again, nobody gives a fuck about, is the fact that they are so fucking horny to throw me under the bus as a pedophile or whatever the fuck else, that they will make the craziest fucking excuses or stories about anything. And I don't know where they're at for this, but like when the Rose stuff came out and it didn't go the way that they wanted it to, the accusation that they started making was that me and Rose were communicating behind the scenes and that we were secretly collaborating in order to fix up her story to save us both, because we had some fucking pedo adult relationship that we wanted to preserve, and we were just like covering our own asses or whatever. Yeah.
That man, at best he was a middleman. Like it was.
And then keep in mind, remember, the only reason why she ended up being deposed was because that sabosexual guy, Justicles community, was spam harassing emails to the girl and then her entire family, while the whole Discord server, people like Wicked Supreme included, cheered it on, saying that he was doing a good service.
It wasn't that. Yeah. She said it was. Yes, she said it was Solo in the deposition. But ultimately, if she agrees and says anything but I was blackmailed and I had no choice, she's guilty of transmission of child porn.
That's just an insane. Remember, this guy threatened to kill her. First, he threatened to kill himself. Then he threatened to kill her and her family, by the way. While this girl was 17, by the way. But she was actually an insidious, top secret prostitute who's guilty. Okay.
And so,
Yeah,
like,
what a spot to be in. That's some crazy
realistically,
shit.
I do think there's a good chance that she would understand that and not be willing to go there and argue.
Wait, so does he still believe that she's just lying about everything?
But ultimately, if she agrees and says anything but I was blackmailed and I had no choice, she's guilty of transmission of child porn. And so,
Yeah,
like,
what a spot to be in. That's some crazy
realistically,
shit.
I
Oh.
do think there's a good chance that she would understand that and not be willing to go there and argue.
Like, My story has been the exact same from the day this fucking case dropped. Pixie has lied about almost every fucking part of her fucking life to every single person that she fucking knows, okay? And then even when they manage to harass and harangue this girl into giving a deposition, they don't like what she says, so now they accuse her of fucking lying. Bruh, okay?
I don't believe so either in Jade. Like, obviously, she was involved, like, heavily.
That's just crazy.
That can't be right. No, I'm saying if she doesn't say she was blackmailed and she had like no choice and that she wasn't on there, they would punish the child. Yes. If she was knowingly do it, if it was anything but him blackmailing her and like forcing her to do this stuff, yes. If you're a child selling child porn to people, you are guilty of like transmitting child porn.
Also, they have this meme that they constantly. I've never bought or paid for anything related to the solo guy or Rose. This has never been true. I know they try to make this claim, and my understanding from the deposition is Rose didn't get paid anything for any of the weird shit that he was selling either. He owned and controlled all of those accounts. One of the most blackpilling things about like Israel, Palestine, and politics and everything else, you look at how Ryan Grimm and all these people are playing footsies with fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene, the Jewish space laser lady, and it's like, how can there really be absolutely no political values anywhere? Like, you guys really have no principles at all. It's whoever's on your team is okay. I'd never thought in my entire life that I would see a whole community of people go to bat for fucking child sex traffickers because they are so fucking horny to try to pedo jag at me or whatever. That's just wild to me.
That off. Anyway, so I think she had a lot of reason to lie. She obviously knew who he was. There's pictures of her wearing his merch. There's pictures of her taking a picture from her school to be like, hey, look, this guy looks like you. He's got a blue coat or something along these lines.
Did she ever say that? Was that ever a message? Or are we just writing fan fiction now? What?
Like, look, this guy looks like you. Certainly seemed like the kind of messages you'd send if you were generally like having a back and forth, and probably not.
That's what catfishing is. Yeah, hello.
Like, the idea that this solo guy lives in a different country and you're going to take this picture of a guy who looks like Destiny to send to Destiny?
What? I'm sorry. Wait, did I ever post a message from her like that? That this guy looks like you? I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember her posting that. Did I? Yes? Oh, okay. Maybe he did.
Because you're being blackmailed to do it?
I know there's a picture she posted from her school.
Because you're...
But I don't remember the attached message saying this guy looks like you.
Being blackmailed to do it? That is like... Do we really think that happened? Do we really
Pretty
think
fantastical. That whole, the conspiracy...
Also, and I welcome this type of commentary. I'm okay with that because it is. When everybody, because Kiwi Farms was doing this too, and so were their servers, and they were like, this is impossible. This story is fucking crazy. There's no fucking way. Because I agree. I don't think it's possible. That was fucking crazy. When I landed on the plane and I got back to my apartment and my fucking, my lawyers called me and they're like, bro. And I was like, what's up? It's like, you never talked to this girl ever. And I was like, I know. I checked our logs. We've never had like a call. And they're like, no. You've never, ever communicated with this person. She's never messaged you ever in your entire life. There's no possible way you guys are misunderstanding something.
He gay out, the gay out from the beginning, all that stuff is pretty fantastical. That's what you're talking about, right?
I could see them both having access. Or I could see, man, I really can't see.
What? Hold on, what?
That having a back and forth, and probably not, like, the idea that this solo guy lives in a different country, and you're going to take this picture of a guy who looks like Destiny to send to Destiny, because you're being blackmailed to do it, that is like, do we really think that happened? Do we really
pretty
think
fantastical. That whole, the conspiracy... He gay out, the gay out from the beginning, all that stuff is pretty fantastical. That's what you're talking about, right?
I could.
You know what else is funny that these guys just never fucking dig into? The solo guy, by the way, was a Queeman fan. That's where he spent all of his time in his Discord server, was in Queeman's server, typing a ton. He had messages in there. I think that's where he first started typing about wanting to leak stuff. They never talk about that. They never bring that up. They never mention the things that he was typing in there while he was doing the leaks and everything. They never, for some reason, they just never bring that up. Kind of weird, huh?
Could see them both having access, or I could see, man, I really can't see him.
No, I think they were
access.
both involved. The argument that that she makes in the deposition or whatever is that essentially that he had control of the account the entire time, and that he was actually talking to Destiny and transmitting all these things, right? and that's I guess what Destiny is going to go with as well. But yeah, that's
Going to go with. Didn't it turn out Solo was your viewer many years ago who basically got mad at you because you didn't let him on stream? No, I've never heard that. I think he must have been a viewer of mine from a long time ago if he knew about me and everything, for sure. But I think he'd migrated over to... Well, all I know is that he was active in Queenman's Discord. I don't know who he was watching frequently, but...
seems very fantastical and, very complex to, like, run this insane gay op like that from the beginning, when I think their communication started first on Twitter, because she was selling stuff on Twitter, like pictures and things like that.
Yeah. It's
Right.
not like wholly, I will say it's like unbelievable to me just in the details of the story. It's not unbelievable to me that somebody could have like someone they were blackmailing who was underage, who was recording these videos, and that they were selling them and owned all the accounts. That's like not unfathomable to me. It's the direct engagement from her end that like goes beyond what he could really force you to do reasonably.
How? Hey, give me this picture. Hey, send me this thing. Hey, show me a picture of you here. Hey, how is that impossible or unfathomable?
Goes beyond what he could really force you to do reasonably. That's like the part that's weird to me. You know what I mean? Like, there's probably just no way that you would be able to. And yeah, it's just, it feels unbelievable.
I mean, I guess, to be fair, there is a world where she is lying about everything, and she's just like a master manipulator, child porn fucking seller, and was running, and the Solo guy's actually not real, and she was running all the accounts, and it's fucking Kaiser Sozeki or whatever the fuck from that one movie. Bro. Fuck me, dude. Do you think all of this is a long play OP for long play operation from Queen and just go like from the very beginning? No, I don't know, bro. No, that would be crazy. Okay, how many more of these? Oh, a few more.
Say this is fucked up and I don't stand by it.
I'm just like, what order of DMs would I have had to send to her for her not to use this as content? No, I have no problem with her leaking them, by the way. I've leaked DMs plenty of times, but like I know when somebody's.
I think for you not to use them as content, you probably could have like responded and just gone, "Yeah, you're right. Oh, I'll cover this." Like your job, like you could have done your job, you stupid fat fuck.
So I know when to.
Oh, so Nicholas Diorio over the past year-ish, I guess, has basically just become kind of the H3H3 after show. What's the opposite of the waiting room? Oh, yeah, I guess like an after show. So I think Queeman and Gisticle and all of them like obsessively attack Nicholas Diorio because he's on Ethan's team. So apparently they do a lot of that.
Ethan Klein lawsuit was gonna be in the mail the next day. I think that it should be make vocal unhinged fans scared again. It should be like a 2025 model.
Hey, look, can you do me? Make critics scared to criticize again. Make critics scared to criticize again. From Nicholas fucking Fat Wop Diorio, okay? Are you serious?
That feel when we're reaching for our Italian slurs. Oh man, we're really digging there.
Of all people. Sorry, I got that backwards. Fat fucking wop. Okay, my bad. My bad.
If you have the letter, you just put a video.
Illuminator, thank you for the 5 gifted kick subs.
Maybe Bungie.
Oh my god, fuck, I just clicked. Oh, hold on. Where was I? This one?
Ethan Klein lawsuit.
You serious? It's fat fucking wop. Okay.
Okay, 3 more. What is this?
Maybe Bungie is right about the DGG plug. Dude, I told Queeman could agree with this, okay? Or he would know this. But
Anonymous. Thank you for gifting 5 subs. Now Illuminator gifts 5 subs, but he puts his name on it. But Anonymous. Oh. Anonymous. Doesn't even want the credit. So selfless. I'm just kidding.
But I did talk about this back when the initial split with Destiny happened, and I watched Nicholas just going after all of the same people. I'm like, I understand.
How do these guys do this shit all day? Is there like secret whale juicers that donate 80% of their income? Like, I don't know what the. I mean, like, I'm saying this genuinely. I don't have the brain for it. You probably just need a certain type of brain for it. But I'm saying this genuinely because, like, I could understand people looking at my stuff and you're like, how can you do politics all day? Or like, what, isn't this boring to scream at people or whatever else? Like, I just think that certain people's brain, like, how do people watch reality TV? I guess for them, this is like their version of that kind of.
Could agree with this, okay? Or he would know this. But I did talk about this back when the initial split with Destiny happened, and I watched Nicholas just going after all of the same people. I'm like, I understand.
Mrao is an obese doxer who has well-known lore about fucking around sexually with a minor. Crazy if this guy to be throwing stones as a just co-host at you. Okay. King.
Sounds schizophrenic, but it's all one big corrupt, like, disgusting machine.
What is?
And this is like helping like Destiny recover by going after, like, if you're gonna go after all of Destiny's enemies, that's what you're gonna spend all your time doing.
Oh. It's a huge conspiracy that all of us are working together behind the scenes. Do you remember when I was working together behind the scenes with Willie Mack after telling him that him and his wife were being doxxed by Spicy Chat, which is owned by Chud Logic, which was being frequented by Queeman and Gisticle? Do you remember when Willie Mack helped me behind the scenes by leaking fucking random parts of a text message conversation we were having while making a YouTube video saying he was calling the FBI on me? Remember that super secret coordination? Do you remember when me and Nicholas Diorio were super secretly coordinating together the entire time as he made hit video after hit tweet after whatever, covering all my shit, calling me a pedophile? Do you remember when me and Ethan Klein were collaborating secretly behind the scenes for so long, and then we decided to throw everybody off of our trails by calling each other pedophiles over our video and a response video? Oh, all the secret collaboration. Like, how do you even have the one thing that I don't understand, but again, my brain is just not at all wired on this, and this is with all the politics communities today, and then like this communities, how can people watch your shit and not realize, like, okay, bruh, I feel like we got to have like a little bit of self-awareness here, okay? Like, we are the cabal. Like, we are literally reposting tweets from accounts on Twitter and then turning off our fucking discords until people juice the tweets up enough that are attacking the correct enemies and being signal boosted by the correct allies who are all in these weirdo fucking discords, all communicating with each other. Like, you understand this is you, right? Like, these are you guys. Like, that's you. Oh, by the way, fuck, does anybody remember the hit piece video I made on Hassan that Ethan retweeted on his account? Ethan was telling all of his fans on Discord, go tweet this Destiny video. Anybody remember that? Oh, fuck. I don't think that ever happened, did it? I don't think that ever happened. How many times has Hassan retweeted Gisticle and The Substance? How many times has that happened? Like, how you are the cabal, my dude. How do they not know it? And they're so mad because they're not even getting the attention and publicity they would want to off of it.
You are going to help him recover, right? He will be able to lean into that. I think Queeman understood it and agreed. Not that, like, I'm just saying, like, obviously that's going to be the outcome. And I didn't think Nick even wanted that, because Nick has to understand that if Destiny does ever get, like, fully back, Nicholas Diorio might be the number one person on his list that he's going to try to kill, right? Metaphorically. Hopefully. Because Nick tried to put him in the dirt. It's so I don't even think Nick wants to do that, but he was in effect helping with that. That's what I fully believe, right? When you just go after all of his enemies, you spend all of your time doing that. Anyway,
it's like he's trying to cause a division in a secret cabal that doesn't exist. I don't even know if I've ever messaged Diorio privately anywhere before. Ever. I mean, have I? I don't even know. I don't know, bro. Yeah. What? Nope. That's right. Definitely. That's definitely going to happen. I'm also like the least grudgy person in the universe. Like, even for Willie Mack, I think that fucking video was fucking retarded. But like, when I'm done with it, I just don't give a fuck. Like, if my case ended tomorrow, I don't give a. I think Willie Mack. I think that video was fucking stupid, and I'm annoyed by the dumb shit that Diorio has said. Because everybody likes to jump to conclusions and everything. But like, what? I'm gonna. All right, guys, time to go after the commentary. Like, what the fuck? I don't give a fuck.
Queeman would be up there. I mean, Queeman's nowhere near the top of that list with me. Unfortunately, with that, Destiny's like, bro. Destiny thinks I'm responsible for literally every bad thing in his life. It would be me if he ever gets fully back and is like, let's say he, got an 8-figure net worth like 2 years from now. He could definitely pay somebody to kill me. He would be happy to do that.
Decent memory.
Like, We have to invent, in hypothetical futures, we have to invent things to be afraid of. Okay.
While making this video, I took a
All
break
right,
to
man.
live stream for
What?
I don't know. Listen. I don't know. Do you really think he wants to kill you? Come on.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Unto this guy. What have you done? Like, what's the worst thing ever you've done to Destiny?
Let's see. He was probably physically and emotionally abusing a woman that he was secretly dating, who made an accusation against me the same time 2 hit piece videos about me dropped and Pixie made her Substack on me, okay? He kept Cherry on his stream in an abused state for like 6 months to farm and make content, sometimes about me, sometimes not, while obscuring their relationship to the entire world, while telling her, after having her committed to a 72-hour hold for suicidality, after telling her that he would be her Dr. K as long as she would come onto his streams to juice his streams up. I'm pretty sure that he passed off that information to Pixie's team from Sognick for Abby. I'm fairly sure on that. I don't actually know. Actually, I can't say I'm fairly sure. I feel like that's probably the connection there. That'd be my guess. But again, I'll never know because there was no discovery turned over between Pixie and Justical. That's never happened. Even though it came out in a court filing that Justical and Pixie were communicating with each other. Remember, they tried to redact his name, but they left the picture there. But I never got any discovery between conversation between her and Justical because they're either all deleted or they communicated on a signal. And then him and his community were involved in attacking me, my girlfriend, my son, of like trying to A-log or repost shit from Kiwi Farms about every single person in my life constantly in their Discord server. I mean, like, I have a lot of reasons to hate Justical, and I do hate Justical, and I'll probably always hate Justical. Like,
I wonder what he thinks the worst thing is. I don't know what the.
well, I don't think I've done anything.
To be honest, I do feel like I mostly just. There was probably one point in time where I like made fun of his dick being ugly. Like, but that's probably the most caustic I've gotten.
His Discord server was reposting like disgusting, crazy shit about the girl I was dating at the time because she wouldn't break up with me. Kelly Jean was doing a lot of that, but Jessica and all of them were also like thumbs upping and fucking engaging with everything too. But like, yeah, we can pretend that too. All right.
But I don't like. I do
see.
think he's like a disgusting sexual predator.
Remember, Justical was begging Cherry after accusing me of only hooking up with mentally ill women, okay, and that dynamic was abusive. Justical pursued Cherry aggressively, flew her out to Canada, had her committed to a 72-hour psych hold for suicidality, and then forced her to show up on his stream over and over and over again while he was farming her for money the entire time until she broke, left Canada, and he begged her to come back and stay. And these are all like just publicly, like, not, like Jessica won't even deny any of this. This is all true. Like, how could you? I don't know.
Like, I think that's just descriptive. I think that is me describing him accurately.
Of course.
In terms of like below the belt, like unwarranted things I've said, I think I've made fun of his. Yeah, I think I've made fun of him down there.
Does he hate you
or
more
twice.
because you were
I love how obsessed these guys are.
like his orbiter? And then when all
I
this
think-
stuff happened, right? You did coverage,
Well,
and so now he hates you
when
the
I-
most because you were like his orbiter after show or some shit, right?
It's also crazy when people are trying to like. How do you describe this? How do you describe this phenomenon? Like, imagine a mom walks into a room and you have like, this is their child's bed, and then you've got like food over here, and then you've got like some shit is knocked over here. You've got like papers over here. This is like, there's like a fucking gallon of milk was spilled over here on the bed. The pillow is just shredded and there's feathers everywhere. Imagine you've got like a window here and like the glass is like fucking broken because you threw a baseball through it, right? And then the mom comes in and just starts screaming and then leaves. And then imagine you've got like the 2 siblings are here and they're like, why do you think mom is mad? And it's like, maybe she's on her period today. Oh, maybe mom's just a fucking bitch. Like, I don't know, man. Like, what do you think? Like, do you think maybe she had a rough day at work? And it's like, hello? This kind of like, I guess like the fart sniffing where you just like all start farting in a room and you get high off it and you're like kind of like, oh, what's going on here? It's just like, we're just going to ignore like the fact of every single thing that you've been involved in for the past 2 years and like, what could it be? Maybe because you were an orbiter.
You did coverage,
Well,
and so now he hates you
when
the
I-
most because you were like his orbiter after show or some shit, right? Is that the thing?
Yeah, I also felt do you remember how the leaks happened? I also felt quite bad for him when the original November leaks happened and it was just the Lord and Southern stuff. It was just like embarrassing. And I was like talking him through it. Like I felt genuinely like really bad for him.
Talking him through it? He messaged me once to tell me that stuff was leaking. It's like, and I was like, okay, LMAO.
He had all of his
So you had like a
embarrassing shit leaks.
personal, yeah. So you had like a personal connection. You were like
Yeah.
talking to him about this stuff, and then he feels like you betrayed him. Basically, that's
I think
why.
so,
Okay.
yeah.
That's a crazy. That's it, bro. That's definitely it, bro. Why are you sending me this? Oh my god, guys. Dude. I don't even know what Discord server this is from. If we were to give an academic... Oh, I just outed you, Wilson. Sorry. Hopefully this wasn't super secret. If we were to give an academic test on the history and current structure of Israel and broadly the Middle East, what online public figure would score the highest? Hassan, unironically. Who didn't even know... Oh, this guy points out, didn't even know what the Western Wall was a couple months ago. What? What? He's doing tricks on it, bro. Holy shit, he's doing tricks on it. Oh my god. Well. Okay. Are we done with the schizo posting? Pisco is obsessed.
So,
Not a centrist, just a self-described moderate Democrat who is pretty center/center left and would be considered moderate in a blue state. It's funny you're digging through probably hours and hours of footage of me trying to find some kind of gotcha to make me look like an evil centrist ghoul. Touch grass, please. This is so weird of you, LOL. I know this clip is about you, but this dispute has nothing to do with you. I literally think the centrist Dems are based. I'm a Biden bro. Not disparaging you, haha. It's still weird. I'm being snarked, Olivia, so I have to defend myself. But I support your work. Keep it up, and no lie. Chorus is based. Moderate Dems are based. You being snarked has nothing to do with me, and I'd appreciate it if you didn't try to make me the cover for actions or word choices of a man who I literally didn't know and have never talked to. It's weird. Holy fucking gaslighting. Weirdo. What the fuck? Why? Never mind. I don't even need to be involved in that. Fuck that. Jesus. Oh, wait. Hold on. I missed a thing. Listen how upset he gets when Dan calls Taylor Lorenz a liar.
Author. This may get some people mad at me, but I really don't have a big problem with her. I just assume she's like a Hassan D writer and kind of trying to hide it a little bit. But I mean, I don't know. Like, is there a reason why I should outright dislike her? What would you say?
She's a pathological liar. Extremely dishonest.
Okay.
Very weaselly and slippery.
Man, I probably have to listen. I did my time on the Nicholas DiOrio stuff. Okay, I did my time. I paid my dues. I watch. I promote the Kilo video. Love Kilo. But I might have to go back into this stuff and just start like I I get so angry when I hear these people talk about politics. I feel like way more. Listen, the thing is I've been aware of like Nicholas DeOrio being a lying rat for a while now, and I was waiting on this Kilo video coming out and for people to be talking about it, and so I felt like
Apparently, they're all mad that Kilo video didn't get anywhere near as much traction as they thought it would, especially with Hassan tweeting it out.
I couldn't not cover it. I really wanted to cover it because it's like a bunch of my friends who like think this is very important, and I don't not think it's important, but man, this stuff actually makes me angry in a way that the Nicholas DeOrio stuff doesn't. This stuff actually like pisses me off, listening to these people talk about politics and other people, and it's all just a game to like destroy reputations or denigrate reputations as much as you can for.
Like, it's so annoying. Like, this is why it's so boring today on politics, because it's all so much projection. It's so horrible that all these people want to do is destroy reputation. That's all these other motherfuckers do. Dude, Hassan is like the number one, like, Israel. Oh, this guy disagrees with my policy on this. Israel. Oh, this guy disagrees. Mossad. Oh, this guy disagrees. Oh, Israel supporter, $7,000 check. Like, that's all you guys do all day. It's not even, there's no more politics now, like anywhere in the United States. It's all just these slop personal attacks and the weird trying to say that everybody's some fucking insane shit and then,
For reasons that are just purely spite-based. They're not based on what's best for the country. They're not
purely spite-based.
Spite-based. They're not based on what's best for the country. They're not based on what's best for anybody. It's just like, I really don't like this guy or this woman in Taylor's case, and I'm going to go after them, and I'm just going to keep going after them forever and ever and ever and ever and ever.
Well, the only reason he's probably talking about Taylor Lorenz now is because Taylor Lorenz was just on Live and Learn, so she's kind of in our sphere, right? It's not like we talk about her all the time otherwise, no, right? It's generally only when we're engaging with her. It was the chorus stuff and then the Live and Learn stuff.
It's like, okay, well, all right.
Someone that will...
Very gross to me.
Okay. If you had to guess which community is most behind the swatting, which community would you guess? I honestly have no idea. I feel like that's more of a right-wing thing, but I don't feel like I deal much. I don't even know what like the big online right-wing communities are that would be doing it. But I don't feel like the left-wing people do it as much. But they might. I don't know really about like the whole weirdo snarker people. Because I guess they were doing it to, Ethan got the skull at his house and everything, right? I don't know if Ethan's been spotted before. I have no idea. Wicked Supreme, I think, one time in Justical Server suggested that I was either lying about it or I was swatting myself in order to drum up attention for me. So... And Child Protective Services too, yeah. Okay. Was Wicked Supreme the guy who died while mining with an 8x and then lied about it? No, that's esports Batman. I think Wicked, was he a Mr. Girl fan? I feel like he was. That was probably like a secret litmus test. We should have figured out earlier. Was if you were like standing Mr. Girl a little bit too hard. Probably not. Probably something going on there. Oh, I didn't see this. Jessica was even trying to tweet it. Or no, I did see this a while ago, I think, right? Oh, he's trying to help him. Quartering has deleted his Twitter account. Oh no, what happened? The Cameron F305 guy did a big expose on him a couple days ago. Taking a social media break. We'll still have regular daily videos and live streams, but in case you notice my X account is gone, it's because it has been really an insane battlefield that I am 100% making worse by interacting with and egging some of these folks on. In fact, I can think of one good thing X has done for me in a long time, and the constant negativity is having a real world effect on me. It's making me do and say things I just would never have before, and I can see it's become a problem for me. Going to take that time I was wasting there and focus on improving myself and being a better person. Join some stuff at church. I don't know, really, just focusing on positive stuff. See you all tomorrow. Jesus. Okay.
Hello.
Hi, what's up?
Hey. Real quick, just wanted to talk about a couple things. New edition of the Pragmatic Papers is out, if you want to take a look at that.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Fun stuff. How you been, by the way? It's been a minute.
Just chilling.
Just chilling? Nice. Is it pulled up? I'm not watching your stream, sorry.
Well, maybe you should be. Yeah, it's pulled up.
Well, I was before, but I don't want the echo or anything. Okay, cool. So we have a new edition of the Pragmatic Papers coming out, or it came out already. There's a couple different ones. The one at the top is the fundraising guide that I threw together. It's a pretty casual just look at like what it takes to fundraise and the things that you should be thinking about before doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Then outside of that, if we scroll down, we have Venezuela and Maduro. So we actually had a dude, Mr. Sam from the Digital Ground Game team, go in person to the first Maduro trial hearing, and he's going to try and go to the rest of them. So you get like some on the ground reporting there, met a crazy person, and then updates on Maduro's case and kind of the weird legal stuff that's going on around that, and the fact that we're trying a president of another country in a U.S. court. That's very weird. And then there's another piece as well by Mr. Case Newmark, just updates on what's been happening in Venezuela after Maduro. Surprise, they're pumping out a bunch of oil and things are not going great. It's really what everybody predicted. So fantastic stuff there. We've got the midterm report that was thrown together by a team at Digital Ground Game, just looking at Ohio, which is more than likely going to be one of the states that we're canvassing in. That'll be happening in the middle of June as far as like canvassing houses. Then we'll figure out events and stuff like that. But Ohio's going to be big. Sherrod Brown just released a pedophile ad calling the other guy a pedophile. So really cool stuff there. And then Vivek's opponent, Dr. Acton, is catching up in the polls, but still behind. So fun stuff there. And final thing is the Third Founding Project. Third Founding Project, basically, Mr. Foliage, I think, came on stream like last week and talked about it, but we're building an agenda for how liberals should govern. We want to hear your guys' input. If you guys have ideas for what we need to do in the future, how we're going to govern, make sure you submit those articles, those pitches for articles to pragmaticpapers@digitalgroundgame.com. Send an email there, and those are due by the 25th. So that's pretty much that on that front.
Cool.
Yeah, fun stuff. Oh, and then also, I need people to check their registrations, all right? So if you go to digitalgroundgame.com/register, if you want to do that super quick, sorry.
Hold on one second. What is the site?
digitalgroundgame.org/register.
Okay.
And then as soon as that pulls up, it should take you to like the rally. We're working with the Relentless team to figure out if people are registered to vote. A lot of voter rolls are being purged. Obviously, Republicans are going to do everything fucky they can to make sure that we don't win the House. So if everybody in chat just goes and checks their voter registration and check your friends, all right, anybody you know in real life, especially if you're in Michigan That's a big one. Relentless really wants us to check Michigan voter registration. So check your voter registration, check your friends' voter registration. If they're not registered to vote, get them registered to vote, because a lot of these primaries are coming up, voter rolls being purged, all that fun stuff. Democracy is crumbling. We're trying to stop it any way we can.
Gotcha.
All right, cool. Anything else? You got anything for me, buddy?
Nope, I don't think so. Just read more just the gerrymandering shit.
Yeah, tons of fun. Basically, like for us, it's just 2026 and 2028 are super huge, and then past that point, things get fucky. So we just got to win.
Yeah,
that's the only solution.
I agree. Yeah.
But all right, cool. Well, I'll leave you to it, buddy. If you need anything, let me know. Okay.
Yeah. Have fun. Be careful.
Later.
Iran has been playing games with the United States and the rest of the world for 47 years. Delay. And they finally hit pay dirt when Barack Hussein Obama became president. He was not only good to them, he was great, actually going to their side, jettisoning Israel and all of their allies, and giving Iran a major and very powerful new lease on life. Hundreds of billions of dollars and $1.7 billion in green cash flown into Tehran was handed to them on a silver platter. Every bank in DC, Virginia, and Maryland was emptied out. It was so much money that when it arrived, the Iranian thugs had no idea what to do with it. They'd never seen money like this and never will again. It was taken off the plane in suitcases and satchels, and the Iranians couldn't believe their luck. They finally found the greatest sucker of them all in the form of a weak and stupid American president. He was a disaster as our leader, but not as bad as sleepy Joe Biden. For 47 years, the Iranians have been tapping us along, keeping us waiting, killing our people with their roadside bombs and destroying protests, and recently wiping out 42,000 innocent, unarmed protesters and laughing at our now great again country. They will be laughing no longer. President Donald J. Trump. Wow. Now that's what I call a cool story, bro. What is the is this Dr. K thing any good, or is it going to be pain? What is this? Opening up about my mental health. Uber danger.
Yo, what's up, YouTube? This video's been a long time coming. 10 years-ish. And it's not easy for me to make this video, but I feel that it's necessary. I want to start by saying I love all my viewers. I love you guys so much, and I wish I could have been there more over the years. I really do. And I know you've probably wondered many times, what's going on behind the scenes?
I do wonder, bro.
Are you okay?
Talk to me.
What are you doing with your life and what's happening? And I know I haven't really put myself out there much. In fact, less and less so. And today I'd like to open up about exactly why. For almost 10 years,
I feel like I remember the name of this YouTuber. Maybe? Uber Danger. He's got 1.36 million subs. He hasn't posted in about a year. He's a league. Oh, maybe that's why I remember, because he's a league YouTuber.
The Red Sea like Moses, better watch out when the man approaches. Cocaine, noses, blade in hand, you notice. Worcestershire Sochi, man's allergic.
When did he supposedly become crazy?
9.5 years now, I have not been allowed to produce political content on YouTube.
Wait, what? Hold on, sorry. Wait, hold on.
About exactly why. For almost 10 years, about 9.5 years now, I have not been allowed to produce political content on YouTube. This followed the upload specifically of a video called Should You Play Zoe that I uploaded onto my channel in November, it will have been 10 years since I uploaded that video. In the video, I said something very heinous, something hateful. I said something extremely derogatory and hurtful towards Palestinians, and I said it in Hebrew. I basically said the word.
Hold on, wait. When this was linked to me in chat, I thought that he hadn't posted in a while because he was like crazy, and this is going to be a video about him coming back saying that he had to take a break because he was like having issues. But is this just... Is he crazy now and this is a crazy video? Or is he crazy now?
Towards Palestinians, and I said it in Hebrew. I basically said the worst thing you can possibly say in the worst possible context it can be said. Ever since I uploaded the video, Should You Play Zoe, I got a restriction that I was not allowed to produce political content. It's a restriction that has been on my channel for almost 10 years now. On and off, some label would appear on my channel saying you're not allowed to produce political content. And
I don't even think this exists. I've never heard of this before my entire life. That YouTube can restrict you from doing certain types of content. I've never heard of this before, especially not 10 years ago.
Sometimes the label's not there anymore. I don't care if you show it as a label on my channel. If you're my community, my viewers, or anyone who's been following my content for years, you know damn well I've not been allowed to express myself. I've been allowed to be radical, abrasive, and offensive, but I'm not allowed to be political. Okay? When I was 16 years old, I was getting around 20 million views a month on my YouTube gaming channel on the internet.
I think this is the clip he is referencing. 4 years ago. Oh, maybe he said it 9 years ago and it was uploaded 4 years ago?
Increase Israel's GDP. Zoe's Q, Mavet la Palestinim ha-meloch-lachim, is my new favorite skill shot in League, and honestly her only really high damage ability. She shoots a Star of David that collides with the first enemy hit, dealing damage in a small area. It can also hit the Palestinians, or minions, as Riot calls them. The further it travels, the more damage it does up to a cap, and that's...
Okay.
Internet. So it's safe to say that I grew up with hundreds of millions of attention at a young age when I wasn't really ready for it. A lot of people have speculated over the years on whether Uber Danger was a character. Growing up, playing a character about half the time that I took that seriously, with hundreds of millions of attention a year, and it broke me, man. I lived with a trauma-induced personality split for 12 years. I'm not joking. John and Uber took turns piloting my body, and at its worst, I had maybe a couple of weeks of permiance at a time. And it took me 12 years to overcome the mental illness of having that personality split. And for the majority of those years, I wasn't aware of what was happening to me or that there was anything wrong with me. I never questioned the fact that I couldn't think back more than 3 weeks. Whenever people called me schizo or crazy, I just thought it was the funniest shit ever because I always felt like myself. I knew I was a normal guy. But since then, I was able to resolve it, to absolve the trauma states, merge both my personalities in perfect symbiosis and become a whole person again, regaining
Fuck, he's crazy. He's Holy shit. Oh no. This was like a I think I mentioned this on stream before. I was hanging out with somebody and like I feel like this was like 6 months ago or something, but we were watching a Vice thing about gang stalking, and then halfway through this little Vice thing, they go to like a support group for gang stalking, and I thought that it was like a support group where you go and everybody talks about like I feel like I'm being gang stalked, like how do I deal with these feelings and everything, but that wasn't what it was for. It was a support group for people to share how they were all being gang stalked so that they could like come up with strategies and just talk about like the gang stalking that they actually endure. I was like, oh no, this is not where I thought this was going. I think it was a Vice thing or whatever.
Since then, I was able to resolve it, to absolve the trauma states, merge both my personalities in perfect symbiosis and become a whole person again. Regaining permanence for me was regaining my mind and my soul. It felt like becoming a whole human again, man. To be able to think and calculate and plan things across time. You're not just existing for a couple of weeks. You're a whole person. You get to remain the person you are. So that's the first thing I want to start off, is to let you guys know that it wasn't a joke. I for real had a trauma-induced personality split. and I don't anymore. You can consider this my super personality. Neither John nor Uber. Both combine in perfect symbiosis without the specific trauma that caused me to split. He's back, right?
Oh, we're back, baby.
And with me coming back, I just have to be honest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look, I've been controlled opposition to a coalition of world powers that systemically oppress all of humanity for around 10 years now. This is my opinion. I can't prove this in any way, shape, or form other than the fact that there was a linear correlation with me being restricted on YouTube and me having to follow a world narrative with everything I produce. I wasn't allowed to go against this world narrative, and I consider it to be one of the most harmful, most damaging things to all people. Back when I got restricted, back in... Dude, I'm just gonna check the PC. Let me do this one take, because I gotta go to work. Dude, I'm just gonna check the PC. Let me do this one take, because I gotta go to work. Come with me. I wish I could record this on my camera, but it just doesn't work after all these years, but I wrote it down. Let's see. Yeah, November 19th, 2017. That's when I released Should You Play Zoe. And ever since then was when I wasn't allowed to produce political content on YouTube or otherwise. And I know I sound crazy for saying that there's a shadow government that controls the entire world, systemically oppress all of humanity. I sound like a conspiracy
Nah, bro.
lunatic. Right?
Nah.
But if you stick with me and you hear what I have to say, I don't know, maybe I won't sound so crazy by the end of it.
Okay.
That was how it started. And one thing I think is important to keep note is that up until somewhat recently, for all those years, I was financially and just at large dependent on my YouTube career to live a functional, worthy life. I've been owned by these companies for so many years. And for each year that I had to slug through it, I just became more and more. It felt so soulless to me, man. So soulless to me. Like, I loved it. When I was a teenager, I loved expressing myself and putting myself out there on social media. It's my favorite thing, was making people laugh and putting my soul and my personality into what I make. Original Uber Danger, what my idea for content was that it's extreme, it's abrasive, it's psycho. It's fucking radical, you know? That's one thing you're not allowed to be these days, is radical. But I decided that I needed to find a different job than YouTube and a different path in life so I could sustain myself to be able to speak my truth. And I've already done this. I now work with bartending and in social service, and that worked great for me. I love being a bartender. It's pretty fucking sick. I love it a lot. And I love working with people. Turns out after being alone in front of a computer.
You think they like listen to him at work and the customer center like, oh man, there's that Uber Danger being wacky, right? That guy's he's a goofball.
For all those years, it's kind of nice to work with people. Furthermore, I'm also doing an education, studying basically the Danger equivalent to my GCSEs. And I went back to school. I felt like it was important for me to get my head straight. And so I decided to get a job and do education. And it was actually through the process of doing education that I realized how fucked the world is and how I need to speak up about this. It's a funny story, really. Actually, it is pretty funny. Look, for all these years, I thought it was just me being limited on social media because of what I had said and what I had done. But ever since I regained my mind, ever since I regained permeance, ever since my personality split stopped and I became a functional person again, ever since my schizotypal symptoms were reduced so that they were negligible, that entire time I thought it was just me being limited. But now I see that the oppression is systemic. It's fucking everyone. No one has freedom of expression across mainstream social media, okay? A public narrative is owned by corporations. Social media, in my humble opinion, should be a utility, like your electricity or your water. Everyone should have free access to it. That exchange of information is the free world. And if you're not allowed to express yourself freely on mainstream social media, then we don't live in the free world. We live in a world that's repressed by tyrannical fascism. It's systematic oppression in broad daylight, if I'm being honest, right? And I've seen it from the inside too. When I regained my mind, I started playing a character as myself. I wanted to get enough information so that I could reliably give the free world a chance. So I could reliably pass on information that's actually worthwhile. And I'm not going to be a conspiracy nut about this, because I know how dangerous misinformation can be. And so I'm not going to tell you anything that I haven't been able to confirm beyond any measurement of doubt myself. What I know for sure is that I've not been allowed to produce political content for the last 10 years. Ever since I said one sentence in Hebrew in Galileo top lane. What I also know to be true.
Wait, Galileo top lane? He was playing Zoe. Uh-oh, we gotta lie.
I said one sentence in Hebrew in Galileo top lane. What I also know to be true is that this didn't happen to my channel when I uploaded, for example, the Jaeger Bomber, where I used real Syria drone strikes to a trap remix of a nuclear nasheed a Holding the Sheet song as a trap remix, dressing up as a terrorist suicide bomber for Comic-Con, yelling Allahu Akbar and this type of stuff. That just got demonetized and astroturfed. No restriction, no community guideline strike. It's just Islam. Lots make fun of those guys. I dressed up as a priest and promoted the concept of pedophilia and coming in a little boy's mouth for Comic-Con. It's funny, that video didn't even get demonetized. That was monetized. That was fine. That was funny. That's great. Yeah. Make fun of Christianity, Islam. It's pretty jokes. When I was 20 years old, I said one sentence in Hebrew on my YouTube gaming channel, and I had to shut the fuck up for 10 years, okay? 10 fucking years I've had to shut the fuck up about this. And every fucking time I've gone against the companies that own me over the last 10 years, every single time, it's had proportional, linear, destructive elements coming towards my life, whether it be in form of restrictions or otherwise. And so, for the majority of this time, I mobilized myself to dismantle the shadow government and did everything in my power to give the free world a chance at being reestablished. And to me, the free world is algorithmic freedom of expression for humanity. That's not owned by anybody. No one should own what you're allowed to say.
Sure, bro.
Which brings me back to my trauma-induced personality split.
Okay.
So, like I said, John and Uber took turns being me for a long time. And I found a way to cure my mind. For 12 years, I experimented on myself with everything under the sun I could get access to. I didn't know there was anything wrong with me mentally, but I have scoliosis, I have bone deformity, and I didn't want to live my whole life with bone deformity. So, with access to the deep web, I had access to pretty much a lot of compounds of different varieties, and I experimented on myself with everything under the sun that's not painkillers or hormonal, right? And although I never did find a cure for scoliosis, other than like a healthy lifestyle to somewhat manage the condition, I did really fix my mental health. After walking around, feeling the same type of mentally ill for 10 fucking years, 12 years, sorry, I lapped my mind together. I have coherence now. I have silence in my head where there used to be noise. I can think. I have an inner monologue. I can picture things. My mind works again, right? And according to psychotherapy and modern science, something like a trauma-induced personality split is something that takes 12 years to cure, if it's even curable, if you can even resolve the different personality states and resolve the trauma. In a lot of cases, it's not fixable. And I'm going to be honest, living with a personality split is something I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy. I really mean that. I would not want my worst enemy to have a personality split. It's simply the difference between...
Guaranteed he went off his meds and feels less sedated now.
Between a worthy life and suffering, in my humble opinion. For 12 years, I experimented on myself with Hawaiian baby woodrose seeds, specifically. I did cold water extractions on Hawaiian baby woodrose seeds bi-yearly. I did so under the assumption or thought, I thought I was fixing my spine, right? Because I noticed a linear correlation with me taking the LSA extract and my spine improving. In retrospect, I believe that doing this helped my mind, which in turn allowed me to live in a pattern that helped my body and my spine and my bones. I don't know whether LSA could cure someone else's trauma-induced personality split or whether psychedelically assisted psychotherapy is a very specific thing. It's, to be honest, the reason why I left YouTube was to study psychology and put myself in a position where I could try to apply my method, because I wanted to help other people cure their trauma-induced personality split. After all, 12 years of experimenting on myself in a specific way. It's a long time to be doing something without at least trying to share that knowledge with other people, especially considering that you were in the end successful in regaining your mind, becoming a whole person again. God damn if that's not a beautiful thing. And so...
Who are you? Are you the Schizo Whisperer? What is this guy? I think he is on anxiolytic, and I don't know how to pronounce that word, ANXIO, anxiolytic meds, which probably calms him, but does not treat the psychotic symptoms themselves. Okay.
Like I said, I'm also kind of crazy.
Anti-anxiety. Oh, anti-anxiety. I see.
Opposition of a shadow government for 10 years.
Okay. Thank you for getting to this part. This is the important
Another thing I believe quite sternly is that trauma-induced personality splits are a load-bearing structure of how they're able to oppress humanity. I simply do not actually think that social media algorithms would have the grasp on humanity that they do if we were able to cure trauma-induced personality splits and similar dissociative disorders on a worldwide scale, right?
Okay.
And I see the science coming out all the time. Oh, we've learned how to cure AIDS. Oh, we fixed cancer. Oh, we fixed this. Oh, if we just change 2 little molecules in LSD, now we can cure depression. Yeah, we're reading all these scientific articles about all these breakthroughs and how they're curing every illness on the planet. But if you go to the doctor, they can't help you with shit. And that's something to think about. So because I cured my trauma-induced personality split, I believe it's my right to tell my story to the world about how I did it. And so for the last period of my life, I've been trying to whistleblow the cure to trauma-induced personality splits. And for some reason, I haven't been able to. It's really weird. You know, I started by whistleblowing it to Airwid, a team of scientists and freedom fighters that believe in the free dissemination of information to humanity. And my articles got pulled down, saying, okay, well, maybe I'm just crazy, you know? But in case I'm not crazy, and there really is a shadow government that controls the entire world, I have already distributed this information to so many people that if you fucking killed me, you wouldn't be able to undo what I've done, right? And if I'm wrong, and you can cure trauma-induced personality splits, great, then I'm schizo. Another person's crazy and it's funny and the world keeps turning. But I'm making this video on the margin of a percentile chance that I'm right, and that I can cure trauma-induced personality splits, and it could change the world. That's my angle, right? So, after 12 years of experimenting on myself, I decided to write down how I do it. For the sake of science, one single time, as best as I could, write it down. I made sure to study psychology and clinical diagnosis and how to write down.
This is a good lead-in for our Dr. K video.
Clinical data, and I did my very best at articulating myself as well as I could, as accurately as I could, with experiments I do, and showing the result that the treatment I do has on the human mind. And since no website is willing to publish my personal experience, I've decided to just publish it myself, because I can, right? So it's in the description. There's a Google Drive link to my personal, either the thesis for my life's work or a manifesto, depending on whether I'm right or wrong. And so if you've ever been wondering, what is this guy really doing when he's not making YouTube videos or streaming? Well, if I'm being honest with you, I had a trauma-induced personality split for 12 years that I feel blessed by God to have even been able to cure.
Okay, we're running to this again. Hold on, wait, real quick. Somebody found the Vice thing I've been talking about.
The same thing as you. Is it a delusion? Is it bizarre? Quite possibly not.
Wait, my brother started exhibiting schizo symptoms a few years ago, and it's really made me sympathize with people like this. Whenever I see these videos, they make me sad. Lots don't realize how disconnected these people are and the kind of help they need. This is one of the things that I said when it came to doing like psychedelics and shit is prior to me doing way too many mushrooms, I don't know if I would have ever said this out loud, but my feeling was that if I ever had like schizophrenia or whatever, I could probably figure out like, okay, like this guy's clearly not real. This guy's clearly real. Like, you know, like you can tell like who's interacting with who, right? That would have been like my assumption, because it's like, if you're not retarded, I mean, you should be able to piece it together, right? One thing that I never gave credit to, that I just never really thought about, because you don't really think about it, is there's a thing for you to see a thing, like your sense data to, you know, convey. There's a sound there, there's a person there, but there is a deeper feeling of like, this feels real. And I don't know how to put that feeling into words, but you can't really fight against that. It's a strong feeling that you have. And those things power so much of your navigation through the world. And when that shit starts to get fucked with, it really doesn't, there's no way to like think yourself out of that thing. But it's hard to even have that perspective, I guess, unless you have some kind of psychosis or, you know, psychotic disorder or you've done a lot of psychedelics, I guess. Yeah. Ugh, not good. I feel really bad for these people. It's weird too, because like when people think you're crazy, they think that it's like random shit. Like you're just like, oh, he's a fucking wacky person. But they're not. Oftentimes, I don't know if I'm over-selecting for this just because I'm on the internet or whatever, but like when you listen to people like this, or schizophrenics who email me, they always sound like well above average IQ. Like these are decently complex sentences that he's putting together. He clearly has a grasp on some like higher educational terms or whatever. He's not just saying like random words and random shit. Like he has like an understanding of like relatively complex thoughts, but he's fucking crazy, right? And it's hard. And a lot of people would imagine like a schizophrenic is a guy who's just walking around mumbling random words, but they're not. Like they appear to be coherent. They appear to be lucid. And I mean, they kind of are, but there's something like fundamental that's like deeply wrong. And yeah, it's a very, very, very scary. It's a very scary world. Yeah. I've mentioned on stream a few times, one of the annoying things I feel about certain movies or TV shows, House does this a lot, is people are always like, yeah, this guy is schizophrenic, but you just don't get him. Let me talk to him and I'll figure out what's really going on. And it's like, if only it were that easy, bro. Like, you can't, this is never happening. You can't do that. It doesn't work that way. Like, it's not like they are, it's not like when most people go up, you go up. And when some people go down, you go down. But this guy, when he thinks up, he thinks down. And you just got to put the puzzle pieces together and you can figure it out. It's like the person has an unshakable feeling, a delusional feeling that can never be changed with any amount of external world pushing on him. And you can't change and it's just a horrible, 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 horrible thing. Whew, it is a horrible, terrible thing. Your place in this world is completely wholesale fabricated by your brain. That's it. Nothing outside of you matters. Literally nothing outside of you matters. It's whatever your brain is able to piece together. And when you start fucking with your brain's ability to piece stuff together, you completely lose your connection to the external world. You just can't do it. It's like cutting your Ethernet cable and trying to pretend like if you just push the right types of buttons or whatever, you can figure out, what's on Google. You can't. It's gone. It's completely severed. It's incapable of doing not what I expected it to be. But it's a gang stalking support group where they just support each other through their delusions by encouraging them. Not good.
And after I regain...
True. Somebody said psychosis can have many causes. Schizophrenia is just one disorder that can lead to the symptom of psychosis. Yeah, there are multiple things that can cause psychosis. That is true. I say schizophrenia, but there could be other... I don't know if the average gang stalker has schizophrenia or some other thing that's operating, sure. Also, fuck, somebody mentioned that LUS guy would debate me. What's the name of the guy on Discord that I would have to contact? You knew it. Somebody said it earlier, but I didn't type the name.
In my mind, I found myself in this situation. The world seems to be technocratically oppressed, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. I don't at all, and I really am agnostic. That is to say, I have a realistic approach to calculating realistic contenders for baseline reality. I am not out there. I take everything I can measure and confirm beyond any measurement of doubt, and then I try to do a sincere calculation of what is actually baseline reality. And I don't believe that we live in the free world. I don't believe that the world is becoming more free. I believe it's going the other way. I believe that some of the sickest people in the world just spread child torture material to billions and try to make everyone focus on that. Whilst there are millions of people who are completely insane, who have lost their minds, who don't have permians. And I don't see that as some, oh, that was kind of shitty. I see that as a direct attack on humanity's soul. And I don't believe that holding these people accountable is nearly enough. I believe that a counterattack is utterly appropriate. And like I said, from my perspective, I believe that I functioned as controlled opposition to a shadow government for 10 years. Okay? If I'm wrong about that, great. I'm crazy. Dope. If I'm right, then I have to be honest here. I have to tell you the truth. I have to just fucking unload this shit on you guys, man. I remember what it was like when it started. I remember. It was like, I make content that's like as if I'm not being repressed by people and I'm free to speak my mind. Great, 1 million views, great. I make content that's offensive about, for example, China. Great, no problem, don't worry about it, that's fine. I'm not allowed to mention wars. I'm not allowed to mention the Middle East. I'm not allowed to be critical. I'm not allowed to be political.
What's your best understanding of how you bring someone like this down to the ground? Jiu-jitsu. I'm just do you just have to hope to God they take medication/therapy seriously, and if not, it's cooked? Yeah, they have to get on medication, but obviously it's hard because when they're adults, I feel like we need, in the United States, it's just really, really, really difficult to do, but I feel like we need to have some way to commit adults that it's more than just like Brady acting or fuck, what was the other one? 89, 81, 69, there's another term for it, 5150. I don't remember. But right now, basically, the only way you can have somebody forcibly committed to or to some kind of psychiatric ward is if they're either threatening to kill somebody or threatening to kill themselves. And if they're not doing either of those two things, then they're free to roam the streets. I think we need something a little bit stronger than that. But obviously, it's very, very, very difficult because you're basically, Baker Act. What did I say? Brady Act? Baker Act is one thing, I'm sorry. It's difficult because you're basically saying, what are we going to do in the United States to take away rights from adults? That's a really scary thing. You know, we take away rights from children, and sometimes women and black people. Yeah, just kidding. But to take away rights from adults and say, sorry, like you don't have any more freedom. You have to go be in some psychiatric institution is a really scary thing. But like for a lot of homeless people, I say a lot, but for a much higher percentage of homeless people, the normal people who are housed, you know, you have people who are just fucking crazy. If you've ever walked around where there are a lot of homeless people before, some of these people are just, they're fucking out of their mind. They shouldn't be on the streets. They should be in some kind of psychiatric ward. Yeah.
Right. And whilst it's a private corporation's right to do whatever they want, they don't need a reason to tell me I'm not allowed to be political on their website. They can just say that's their rule. I would like, as someone who has spent half my life on this website, to ask YouTube how they apply this policy. Because I've read through many, many pages. I've studied all of the terms of service to the fullest extent. And oddly enough, nowhere in your terms of service is this policy elaborated on. So I'm not here to say that I've been zealously stripped of my basic human rights. I'm here to ask, how do you apply this policy? Because there's only 3 possible constellations. It's either applied to the channel, to the person, or both. If it's applied to the channel, that is to say, my friend wouldn't be allowed to put a video on my channel where they were political, based on what I said 10 years ago. If it's applied to the person, that is to say, I couldn't make another YouTube channel and be political on your website, based on what I said. Or the most tyrannical constellation. It's both applied to the person and the channel. That's all I want to know. In relation to the restriction on me, where I have not been allowed to produce political content, I want to know how the policy is applied. The terms of service on a website are the rules by which we, the users, play the game that you put out. I think it's fair to ask for elaboration on a rule that has been applied to me for 10 years, since I don't understand how it is applied, even in the first place. Whew, that's a lot, man. That's a lot. I have some other videos in the works. I decided to break up with the concept of not being allowed to be political because I do think it's a violation of my human right to express myself. I think everyone should be allowed to be political, even if they've said something stupid or hurtful. Okay? But it's been over 15 minutes since I said it's actually a funny story. And this is a pretty loaded video, so let's get to the funny story.
Okay.
A funny story of how I ended up where I am right now. What happened is I went to school, and the first classes I had Danish, English, social studies, and psychology. And one day, I was so bored in Danish class that I decided to write something in English as a protest against my dry, boring teacher in Danish. And I wrote...
What was that vacuum you really liked? You talked a lot about it. Fuck, I don't remember what it's called, but I use it. It's my baby vacuum. Some German brand, I think. It's God tier.
I wrote a rap called Head of State, and it was all the things I would do if I was head of state.
I don't think it's Miel. There was that one, and then there was one other brand that are considered like the 2 fucking Godstiny brands. Fuck, I don't think it was. I'd have to go check. I'll check.
Then I had a realization. I realized that I could never upload this on social media. And then I thought to myself, why am I allowed to make something in school that I'm not allowed to post to social media? What's that all about? The more I looked into it and the more I thought about it, I thought, okay, so I don't have freedom of expression.
Oh, Sebo. S-E-B-O, I think is what it was.
Maybe someone else could get to say it. And the more I looked into it, the more I saw we really don't have freedom of expression on mainstream social media. It's not just me. There's algorithmic restrictions on all mainstream social media platforms. And they're owned by private entities who have their private interests. I don't know. I don't think that's right at all. That feels like a repression of the free world to the greatest extent. So that's why I decided to mobilize myself to dismantle the shadow government. I mean, after all, most people don't have my perspective. Most people haven't seen that world from the inside, and most people don't actually have a voice to speak out against these things. And most people don't have the knowledge required to know how you would even combat a shadow government.
True.
Right?
I wouldn't.
And please understand, I know I'm probably wrong. But I'm making this video on the margin of a percentile chance that I'm right. Because from my perspective, I believe that trauma-induced personality splits are a load-bearing structure of how the shadow government, that is to say a coalition of corporations, billionaires, private entities, and intelligence agencies and so on, are able to repress the free world. and that without trauma-induced personality splits and similar dissociative disorders.
Who the fuck is this guy? Well, he used to just be a league streamer / successful YouTuber. He's got 1.4 million subs, and I think he's developed some disease that he has that gives him psychosis. I should learn. Fuck. At some point, we should put this on the thing to learn all the psychotic illnesses. Bipolar 1, I think, when you're in manic phases, can induce psychosis. There are other illnesses too that can have, where you can have thoughts that just aren't real. I don't know them all though. It's not just schizophrenia. I say schizophrenia a lot, but it's not just schizophrenia.
Being as present in society as they are, they would lose their grasp. And potentially it would lead to not just the dismantling of the shadow government, but also a dismantling.
Why are schizos always anti-establishment and government? I've never seen a schizo who does not talk ill of the government. That's a really, actually super fascinating question, in my opinion. I just haven't read into the research, and I just don't trust stuff that I've seen that like everybody says. But like I've seen it said on Reddit a lot. The thing that like psychologists studied people with schizophrenia, and they found that in the West, the voices that talk to you in your head are all negative, but in Eastern societies, they tend to be more positive. I don't know if that's true or not, but if it was true, that'd be really interesting. In my personal opinion, in my personal experience, it seems like people in the West that have schizophrenia always have like, there's always like a global conspiracy thing of everything that's coming together using biology or alien technology or shadow governments or whatever that are trying to suppress or do something to all of mankind. Maybe there's like some kind of logical reason for that, in that like, if you have certain delusions, these are the things that would logically follow because it's how it would explain how fucked your world is. So it kind of makes sense. Maybe not. I have no idea. I'm not sure.
Of the world narrative that's been applied upon all of humanity. Dismantling.
Keep in mind, though, that when you're thinking about trying to explain, when you're trying to think about like why does everybody have this thing, you got to be really careful about the survivorship bias, though, too, right? Because it might be that there are a ton of different ways that schizophrenics, kind of like break from reality, but in a lot of the ways that they break from reality, they just are on the streets because they're crazy, right? If they think that like walls are evil, I don't know if they ever think that, but like something like that, right? So you only ever see these ones, so it leads you to believe that all of them are like this when this might be like a minority of it. You have no idea,
The shadow government, but also a dismantling of the world narrative that's been applied upon all of humanity. Back in 2013, woke cancel culture successfully redistributed primary politics from the state levels to the hearts and minds of every person in the free world with access to the internet. And I believe that the narrative that's been applied upon all of humanity is a very, very desperate attempt to remain in power for the people that would otherwise be eaten by their slaves.
I've never heard a schizo admit so much that they could be wrong. Really? In emails I've gotten before, there was that one guy that I used to post who got arrested, the crazy looking dude. Not a lot, but some of his emails started like that, where it's like, I feel like, I understand a lot of what I'm saying seems crazy, or a lot like he would say these, and then right after that he would just go into like some angelic crop circle shit. Like, so I don't know if it's normal for them to say that, but like I've had people who have contacted me who seem like they're understanding that what they're saying is like really crazy. Like they're not like I don't know how to explain this. They're not like completely incoherent, and they're not completely like not lucid. Like at least for some of the ones that I've spoken to, it seems like they understand that like I know what I'm saying is crazy. I know this sounds insane, and yeah, I worry, maybe I am losing my mind. But anyway, I think that you're the second coming of Christ, and I think that the UFOs are actually communicating this message just to me, and the government is trying to suppress it, and that's why I keep getting. And it's like, okay.
Should all of your attention really be going to whatever the new thing is, or would you like to see people express themselves freely? That's my question. I think people should be able to express themselves freely, and I think I would enjoy the culture that emerges from freedom of expression infinitely more than whatever the latest attention grab is. That's how I feel, okay? And that's why I decided to share the research I've done on Hawaiian.
Didn't Rackful and Yellow Spoon Girl also become schizo? Rackful, I don't think so ever. But for Bella, I don't know. It's a whole other thing.
Baby Woodrow seeds and curing my trauma-induced personality split with a world in the description, and you can read my notes. And it feels like the right thing for me to do. Now, if I'm wrong, and the shadow government don't need trauma-induced personality splits to control the world, but I'm still right about the fact that I can cure.
Destiny, I think a really big issue for normal people is the fact that they can't wrap their heads around the idea that they are fighting their brain. You mentioned it earlier with the analogy of the Ethernet cable. The smarter you are, the more you fight your own brain with your logical side against the chemical imbalanced side. I don't have schizophrenia, but I notice it a lot with some aspects of autism, but mostly major depression. They will never understand what it means to genuinely, truly be fighting against an uphill battle. I understand what you're saying, but like fighting against your own brain is like the difference between like a person who is not self-aware might be able to fight that battle at like 6 or 7%, and a person who is very self-aware might be able to fight that battle at like 10%. But when your brain is fucked, you are fucked. Like you can't. There is no. I just don't know how to. I don't know how to put it into words. You can't. You just can't. Like everything starts off like the beginning of your thoughts are poisoned, and there is no thinking your way out or thinking your way through like insanity. It's just impossible. But
trauma-induced personality splits in this way
without some kind of like medication or surgery or whatever.
That's perfectly fine. That would be amazing. That means that I haven't stepped on anyone's toes, and I can still help to cure people's trauma. If I'm wrong about me being able to cure trauma-induced personality splits, but they do need this mental illness to control the world, then we're fucked. And we're fucked anyway.
And then Reynad, not Reckful. Oh, I think Reynad maybe. That's really sad too, though. I don't know where Reynad's at these days.
If I'm wrong about both, if there's no shadow government and I don't know how to cure trauma-induced personality splits, great. This is a way for me to find out. But I found it highly unethical to ever experiment on someone else in this state because I've lived that way. I've felt what it's like to be in a trauma-induced personality split. And when you don't have permians, you cannot consent to someone else rearranging your mind. I don't believe you can give consent to that. There's no way you could truly give informed consent to that. And furthermore, it did take me many years to become financially independent of YouTube and streaming to a point where I knew I would have a worthy life in an ordinary world if they were to delete my channel for something I've said online. I needed independence of outcome before I could come out with all of this, right? But that's the thing. That's the thing I've been dealing with all these years. That's the thing that's truly been tearing away at my soul and making me more and more sad, is that I've had to keep up a facade of funny, happy, lucky gaming videos and good times and fun happiness, when really I've not been allowed to express myself. I've not been allowed to be political on the internet. And frankly speaking, I feel like by maintaining that world narrative that everything is fine and you're not speaking out against it, you're complicit. You're complicit in that repression of the free world. You're complicit in that repression of people. I believe everyone should be allowed to speak their truth, okay? Every single person on earth should be allowed to speak their truth. No one should get to decide what the truth is. That's what I'm saying, basically. But yeah.
Imagine if YouTube banned his account for this video. Jesus.
I think that was it. I just wanted to be honest about how I've been owned by corporations all these years. How I've broken up with them, and that's why I'm never doing a sponsorship again in my life. Why every video I post online, whether it be on my YouTube channel or on UberDanger.com or on Twitter, but I don't care if they delete my social media, I'll figure it out. Every video you get from me from here on out is going to be authentically myself and exactly what I want to say. No one gets to put words in my mouth. No one gets to own my viewers' attention. I want to sincerely be myself.
Do you think suicidal people are experiencing delusion, or is it something else? I don't know, bro. I have like personal theories on suicidality, but I'm not like study there. You're better off like reading stuff. Like, it feels to me like you have, some people can be suicidal because some exceptional event has happened that's like driving them to feel anguish. So like a huge event, like parents or significant other died or something crazy like that. Or somebody could have some kind of long-term, either mental or physical suffering, and they feel like their baseline is below survivable, so they just want to end their life. I'm sure there are other drivers to it, but
as I've wanted to be this entire time, and this is the reason I have not put myself out there the way I wanted to and the way I love doing. It's because I have not been allowed to produce political content, and a half truth is no truth at all. If I have to put myself out there halfway, as you guys can tell in every vlog I've ever made, there's been something that I haven't been able to say, and it's this. Is that when I said one sentence in Hebrew when I was 20 years old, and should you play Zoe, a sentence I should not have said, a hateful sentence, I had to shut the fuck up for 10 years. But you know what? It's a really bad thing to say, but people do it today. People think that's a real ideology that's being executed today. Fascistic tyranny exists in our world. So I wasn't allowed to say it back then. Okay. But people still do it today. Maybe it was the type of thing that was worth saying. Don't you think? In my next League of Legends video, I also was actually gonna whistleblow the shadow government and basically break up with this me not being allowed to make political content. My next League video was probably gonna be my last video I ever upload. But I decided to make this video instead because I don't think that people would take a song in a gaming video as seriously as a sincere message from the person making it. Because I'm not joking, and it's not a joke. It's not a joke at all. I had a personality split for 12 years. I was complicit in the systematic oppression of every single fucking one of you by not speaking up this entire time. And now I would like to help to contribute, even marginally, to reestablishing the free world and freedom of expression. And I think we should all be allowed to have algorithmic freedom of expression across mainstream social media. Regardless of whether we seem crazy, regardless of whether we fit the narrative. I think that's every human's basic fucking right. And from being honest with you, not speaking up about this is the precise environment that has re-traumatized me over the years. Many times I've split into my two personalities and combined them again using the method that I've been using that worked for me. And I've basically split into multiple personalities and combined myself, 15, 20 times if that could do it. So I'm fairly certain that my method works. We knew already that psychedelically exists, that psychotherapy works, but not to the degree that I've been able to heal my mind and my schizotypal symptoms as well.
Do you still not believe in DID? No, I don't believe in any of that.
I find it unethical, like I said, to experiment on someone else, but I believe in the freedom of information. I believe that every person should be allowed to have access to the information that might be helpful to them. And I believe in the free dissemination of information to humanity. So in the off chance that other people could also cure their trauma-induced personality splits with my method that I
9 minutes left.
used for 12 years before I applied myself to writing it down. I mean, I applied LSA to my own psyche for 12 years before I felt like I could articulate exactly how I felt like I could responsibly deliver this information to humanity. On the off chance that any of you guys could be helped by this information, I decided to share it with you. And I just want to say I'm 100% serious. I'm not joking or grifting. I really do believe myself to function as controlled opposition for 10 years. So a narrative that's just baseline hurting all of humanity. Everyone needs to reset back to baseline reality. That's what the world needs. And to my viewers, look, if they delete my YouTube channel, I'll put my shit on Twitter. If they delete my Twitter, I'll put my shit on uberdanger.com. If they take my website down, I'll put it on Discord. If they delete my Discord, I'll go to all my artist friends and tell them to upload my shit when I make it. I will not be stopped, okay? My next
Doesn't you promise us you would watch part 2 of Abba's X Here It Is? What? I watched some of it yesterday. I watched like 5 minutes. It seemed boring and stupid. Fuck that.
Video is my first real video in 10 years. And I'm gonna speak my fucking mind. I'm gonna be making my goddamn video. I'm gonna make it. It's gonna be a good video. And I just wanted to share with my viewers as well that I regained my mind. Because I have not opened up about my mental health to very many people in my life, and certainly not online. I've only opened up about this to basically my mother and my girlfriend. And close people in my life who have been near me have known, or at least been able to assume. And a lot of my viewers who have really studied my videos, my mannerisms, and my streams could also make a calculated guess about my mental health. But as a person who's been able to fix my psyche and my mental health, I feel like it's important to make this video where I show you all the person I am now. Without the psychosis.
Sorry.
Without the mania. You can tell by the dark circles under my eyes that I struggle with just a slight little bit of depression. But I do believe that being able to speak myself freely and have freedom of expression might help a little bit with that, you know? Yeah. Did I forget anything? Thanks for watching. And I hope they leave my YouTube channel long enough for me to be able to finish my League of Legends video. This is one hell of a fucking banger. It's the wildest video I've ever made. It's coming out with a song as well. The ending to the trilogy that is my discography. They're putting out a third song on Bossman Music Worldwide. The absolute elevation of the label. It's gonna go crazy. It's gonna go fucking wild, guys, okay? Oh, man. I don't know where things are gonna go from here. Oh yeah, this is the thing I was gonna say. Shit, I forget everything. My bad, guys. My bad, G. Logan, honestly, come here. I know I've said a lot. I know it's been a pretty hefty video already, but over the years, it has substantial consequences for me whenever I've decided to go against the companies that own me, and whenever I've decided to try to speak up publicly has never really worked out for me, to be honest. And around 2 years ago, I decided to just stop working with companies, stop working with sponsorships. I told my guy from Mythic, I was like, I can't do it anymore, man. I cannot do it. And I knew that the situation I'm in now, financially, would come after me eventually. On Monday, they're gonna come and take my car because I couldn't pay the debt of the money I owe. And so they're gonna come and get my car on Monday. And I should have just put the car in my girlfriend's name to avoid that, but I thought I could do an honest case because I have scoliosis that's quite debilitating, and I work in 3 different towns. I teach self-defense in a 4th town. I drive my mom, who's gotten like surgery, and I drive my grandma, who has dementia. And I need my education and the benefits from education and the money from my jobs to be able to pay my rent. But I won't have access to my jobs or my education without the car. And so now that's being taken from me. And I tried to do a whole case where I tried to explain to them how necessary this car is for me to be able to live my life. And I just see the end destination of just being riddled in debt. It just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And to me, there's one thing so much more important than keeping my car, having money. It's the fact that this is happening to everybody. It's not specific to me at all. All of you guys suffer under exactly the same conditions as me. And it doesn't matter how much it's true that I have scoliosis that's quite debilitating, or that I need the car to be able to attend my jobs, or the fact that they wouldn't be able to get more than $3,000 for it on auction, and we just spent $2,000 that I had to loan to be able to get to the mechanic so it could even drive still. It doesn't matter that me and my mom spent 7 years paying that car off so we could have a humble, worthy, ordinary world. It doesn't matter at all. Under this capitalistic system, it's just, oh, you can't pay the money. You know how much they want? They want $15,000 before Monday. You know what she said to me on the phone? She said, oh, well, your back hurts? Yeah, that's really unfortunate, but since your car isn't registered as a special needs person car, we can't take that into our evaluation. I said, what about me working as a social care worker in this town that's a 30-minute drive away? She said, oh, well, that job is recent enough that it's not in our system, so we're not gonna count that one. I said, well, what about the fact that I'm the primary caretaker of my mom and my grandma? She said, oh, well, they're not under 18, so that doesn't really count. I said, well, what about the fact that I need my education and it's in that town? She said, oh, you can just do an education in your own town. Yeah, you try going to education at Elbaslund, see what happens. And I was quite upset over them coming and taking my car, and I already have a solution, obviously. Fuck it. Don't donate to me a single dollar. They take the car, I just get my girlfriend to buy a cheap-ass car in her name, and I'll have a new car, okay? This isn't a fucking grift. Don't donate me a single dollar, I'm serious. I don't want your donations. I want your attention. I want you to think about the words I've said. I want you to think about the possibility that it's dead true, every single word. That there's not freedom of expression across mainstream social media, and that the world is becoming less and less free. And that humanity should stand up for their fucking rights. If I should put it into a couple words, I would say it's that. That's precisely the thing for me. The fact that in the main place, the primary arena where we interact with each other, that is to say mainstream social media, people are not allowed to freely express themselves. There's algorithmic limitations on how people express themselves. Human expression is now owned and monetized.
Not good,
Pisses
guys.
me off. I'm actually fucking enraged over this. Because, you know, you gotta think, I did something, I grew up and I was really offensive and I was really abrasive and I was hurtful for attention on social media when I grew up. So for me personally, I actually don't think it was wrong for me to be limited for all these years necessarily. But seeing how this is applied to everyone, seeing how if you didn't do what I did, you're still put under the same limitations, and it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that 10 years ago. 10 years ago, you would have to do something heinous on social media for you to not have freedom of expression. And I just think that's wrong. I think that's dead wrong. And I think people should speak up against it. We should fucking demand that these companies do better. It can't be legal. There's no way it's legal. And if it is legal, then they should change the laws. Those are terrible laws if that's legal. What a shitty world. What a rotten, disgusting world we live in. Thanks for watching.
My grandfather passed away.
Jesus, what a lead-in video. Do you think he actually has scoliosis, or is it probably self-diagnosed? No clue. Quick Hassan slopper.
Why are you always in a suit? I'm a suit guy now. This is it. I'm in my suit era. I think we already...
Oh no, do you think somebody bullied him too much about all of his wacky outfits?
I think we already established that. Part of the reason why is because... Part of the reason why I'm in a suit all the time is because, you know, moms and dads are watching. 2 reasons. 1, it makes my head look bigger. number 2. A lot of
Soundboard.
conservatives come in here to watch lately to see what's going on. And as a chatter correctly pointed to, wearing a suit, basically like lingerie for old conservative ladies. Yeah, they love that shit. Gets them horny. And in their horny moment, they just are a lot more receptive to what I have to say. This is how we spark the revolution, ladies and gentlemen. This is how we do it.
Okay. Oh, do you think it's because Nick is always in a suit? Or he saw me wearing a suit after my court case? Who's his inspiration for this? That's the real question. What do you think of the Brunig debate about IP rents? Jesus Christ. Let's put aside whether you think riding Chewbacca is more impressive than a 2-hour marathon. I surely think a 2-hour marathon is impressive and can see that since people train for running. So what would be your objection to making them billionaires through that law? Wait, what? Obama was so real for this. There are a lot of wealthy, successful Americans who agree with me because they want to give something back. They know they didn't. Look, if you've been successful, you didn't get there on your own. You didn't get there on your own. I'm always struck by people who think, well, it must be because I was just so smart. There are a lot of smart people out there. It must be because I work so hard or harder than everyone else. Let me tell you something. There are a whole bunch of hardworking people out there. If you were successful, somebody along the line gave you some help. There was a great teacher, someone in your life. Somebody helped to create this unbelievable American system that allowed you to thrive. Okay, all right. I, like many billionaires, earn their income, and we should tax their earned income at a level higher than the median American because the biggest winners in American society should participate in the preservation of societal well-being better than all billionaires are thieves. Sure, I agree with this. This is Derek Thompson, co-author of Abundance. What does the distinction between earned and unearned income mean to you? You're using it like self-made versus inherited wealth. I don't know why I'm reading this guy in the strawman voice. I might agree. Rather than returns on labor versus capital. Part of the point of the rhetoric is that it's not really plausible that billionaires work 1,000,000 times harder than regular people. There's no way that such an uneven outcome can be a product of relative desert or merit. They can't have earned it in that sense. Remember, at the end of the day, the amount of money that you get paid, it just has to do with who wants the shit that you're selling. That's it. That's all it is in society. Now, it sucks because there are people that place some kind of like moral or normative worth on a person based on the amount of money they make. And some of that might be good, some of that might be bad. Like it's shitty though. Like largely, like I can understand that, but you don't get paid for how hard you work, and you don't get paid for how noble your profession is. If this was the case, teachers would get paid 10 times more than they do now, right? You get paid based on supply and demand of how many people are offering the labor you have and how many people are demanding the labor you're offering. That's it. Okay. Yes, if entitlement is based on productivity, then billionaires have things they aren't entitled to. Whether you want to call it theft or not is a rhetorical choice, but the idea that what they have really is theirs and they should just give back is actually indefensible. Wait, I don't understand this. Yes, if entitlement is based on productivity, then billionaires have things they aren't entitled to. What does he mean by productivity here? Just doing things, like how hard you work, I guess? Or I don't know. Then billionaires have things they aren't entitled to. Whether you want to call it theft or not is a rhetorical choice. That's a meaningful distinction between calling something theft versus saying you own a business or whatever. I don't think it's simply rhetoric, but okay. But the idea that what they have really is theirs and they should just give back is actually indefensible. Okay. Derek should throw out a billionaire that he thinks earned, or whatever word he prefers to connote entitlement, that amount of money, and we can see if we can figure out how plausible that really is. Is there, this is such a naive... Fuck me, dude. I feel like this is labor value theory. This shit. I'm wasting my time on this. if I tweet, I'm just gonna get hate for it because people think I'm hating businesses or hating laborers. But like, if you want to say that a business owner doesn't own any of the output of his business because a laborer is working, then I mean, like, how can you say that a laborer is entitled to any of his wages when he wouldn't be able to work without the capital or resources provided by the owner? Like, let's say that you go to work in some huge machine place or whatever, and you're like operating some machine and you make money. I feel like the socialist will say the owner is entitled to none of those profits because it's just the worker who's generating it on his own. And it's like, well, if the worker didn't have access to the capital, then the worker wouldn't be able to do anything either, right? Not to say one thing is good or bad or one thing is right or wrong, but it's such a naively stupid analysis to only perform on one side. It's just like so dumb. Like, what the fuck is the point of this? And you're not furthering any actual argument. Like, oh, okay, fine. You know what? It is true. Owners of firms make money off of profit of labor. What do we do with that, right? Are you going to say that's wrong, so we eliminate all capital? What's the point of that? Is there a level at which money is inherently not earned? If you suspect that somebody who makes $50,000 earned their money, but you know that everybody who has $1 billion in wealth didn't earn their money, what is the threshold above which one ought to be certain that money cannot be earned? The point is not that there is some level where it is inherently not earned. The word billionaire is a simpler way of saying the extreme right tail of the distribution. In our society, the amounts of that tail are so relatively high that it's hard to believe they are earned. And again, I think we can go about this much more qualitatively. Pick whichever billionaire you think is the best case and let's look at it. You should pick. I'm not trying to be evasive. Not being a Marxist, I think every working person who receives income and equity for their labor and who hasn't committed a crime under the current laws earn their money. Under that definition, I think most billionaires earn their money. For entertainment's sake, though, if you're going to do it, you should scrutinize a celebrity whose wealth mostly came from selling things directly to the public and then created a portfolio or IP, or a portfolio of IP, that was externally valued at billions of dollars, maybe George Lucas or Taylor Swift. The way IP rents work in entertainment is a great example of a legal quirk generating crazy right tail outcomes. George Lucas made hundreds of millions of dollars by allowing others to produce toys, lunchboxes, etc., with Star Wars branding on it. This argument isn't remotely compelling to me. The quirk that made him a billionaire was that he happened to create an iconic character, and thousands of other scene fiction writers didn't. If it were the IP law itself, everyone else who created IP would also be billionaires. Our system rewards creating an iconic character in this way because it created certain IP rules in the US Code. But this does mean that creating an iconic character actually produces or earns or deserves that level of compensation. What? Our system rewards creating an iconic character in this way because it created certain IP rules in the US Code. But this does mean that creating an iconic character actually produces or earns or deserves that level of compensation. Why couldn't you say the same thing about business owners if that's how the code is created? No? As CLR James said, finding a truly new character is the greatest possible accomplishment of any author. He was referring to Melville's discovery of Ahab. Doesn't seem crazy to me to reward those who are able to do it. Is it a greater accomplishment than a 2-hour marathon? Only 2 of those in the history of the world. This is the heart of your confusion. How much an accomplishment is rewarded is a function of law, in this case IP law, but surely that reward can be too high. Oh wait, I think he fucked this sentence up. I'm sorry. But this does not mean, I think he meant to say this does not mean that creating an iconic character actually produces. That's what he meant. Fuck, he fucked this up. Sorry. I understand now. Well, let's put aside whether you think writing Chewbacca is more impressive than a 2-hour marathon. Surely you think a 2-hour marathon is impressive and can see that tons of people train for running. So what would be your objection to making them billionaires through that law? I think I'm skeptical that deciding who to make people billionaires via the law is going to work out very well in markets. I don't know. It's just dumb. Whatever, dude. Well, I guess the conversation's always been like this, right? I don't like it when people attach this moral value to how businesses are run and money is earned, because then people just fight on the moral value of this. If you can create a Facebook, if you can create an Amazon, if you can create an Apple and make fucking tons of money doing it, that's a wonderful thing because we all have an amazing fucking product and because everybody that works at these companies is extremely well compensated. These are good things. If you think that we have social programs in the United States that we need to fund better, or if you think that there are ways that people who are on the bottom rungs of earning in society but are still doing things that we would consider societally important work, especially things like teaching, if you think those people need to be compensated higher, then find a way to skim off the people that are ultra successful at their billionaire businesses. So jack up the higher tax rates, boost your capital gains tax. If you wanted your fucking stupid corporate taxes, do that. But just find a way to tax them more. The demonization of some earners is just so cringe. Celebrate it, find a way to tax it, and make it so we all can feel invested in their winnings. The biggest issue in the United States is the fact that if you're a normal citizen, you don't really feel like you're winning when Zuckerberg or Bezos or Elon are posting these like record gaining wins. Like we don't feel any investment in that. That's a problem. We need to find a way to like align those incentives, I think.
There's a certain level of wealth and accumulation that is unearned, right? You can't earn $1 billion.
That's right.
You just can't earn that.
That's exactly correct.
You can get market power, you can break rules, you can do all sorts of things. You can abuse labor laws.
Yep.
Like I just don't like it. It's so dumb considering the different types of work there is too. Like this existence of like a wealthy class of people that aren't actually owners and somehow they manage to slip by all of the stupid Marxist criticism is just so annoying. Hassan does it. Technically, I'm in that class. Like, okay, well, I earned so much money and I'm not doing anything unethical because I'm not an owner. I just work and then people pay for my shit. But like, is that really fair that somebody who, sits in front of a stream can earn 10 or 100 times as much as a teacher or as a, sanitation worker or as a mailman? Like, there's just so much moral value that's tied to all of these statements, and it makes it impossible to actually navigate the conversation. I think it's cringe.
You can abuse labor laws.
Yep.
You can pay people less than what they're worth.
Yep.
But you can't earn that, right?
That's
and
right.
so you have to create a myth that since you didn't earn that, you have to create a myth of earning it. There's a certain level.
Yeah. Whatever. The sloppulism. We're never breaking out. AOC is dumb. What?
Personal situations and with ourselves too. Abolition, so often I think people try to fast forward to the end of the movie and they're like, but what do you do if there are no jails in the United States? What do you do without police? And they try to paint that story. But it's important, I think, for all of us to acknowledge that abolition is not about the destination. I mean, the destination is to have a society that doesn't need prisons, that doesn't need but really is that it's about a journey. And abolition is about the journey there. And when we look at a situation, first of all, a lot of times people say, oh, well, if we don't have the system the way that it is, what are you going to do with all of the rapists? Very often, that's like the first thing that people grab for, and it's not a coincidence. Secondly, we should acknowledge that this system fails women and victims of sexual assault, period. Already. The U.S. carceral system is violent to survivors of sexual assault because our system does not care, center, designed for justice in these situations. 80% of people who are assaulted by someone that they know, and over 80% of all assaults are never reported to our system. That is not a coincidence, and the overlap of those two things are not a coincidence. Because so often, an assault survivor has to not just deal with what just happened to them, but then they feel like they have the responsibility, it's their responsibility to decide if they're gonna tear their family apart, if they're going to turn really deal with the compounded trauma of turning in their father, uncle, boyfriend, whatever it is, in a short period of time or a long period of time. And at the end of the day, what we have to ask ourselves what it solves. Because if what we seek is a society that doesn't do that, then what it means is that we need to have a society that changes men, a society that changes people in power, a society that changes how we view gender. And, if you read Angela Davis, Our Prisons Obsolete, our prisons are used as just dumpsters for the failures of our systems. systems of power hide the fact, hide our mental health crisis.
Okay, I don't know. Whatever. Okay. Stop. We love AOC here, okay?